I overheard my boyfriend telling his mom, I just don't have enough to buy the kind of ring she deserves, so I decided it was time to show him how much I'm actually worth. There are moments in life when your entire world shatters, not with a bang, but with the quiet, suffocating sound of a phone conversation you were never meant to hear. I thought I knew the man I loved. I thought I knew my own worth. Then, one quiet night, a whispered truth cracked open my life and showed me everything I thought I knew was a lie. Tristan and I had been together for 3 years. He was sweet, thoughtful, and, importantly, came from what they call old money, the kind his family guarded like dragons hoarding their gold. Me? I came from absolutely nothing. Scholarships got me through college, side hustles paid my rent. I'd learned early on that wanting things and affording them were two entirely different universes. That night, I wasn't even supposed to be home. My hospital shift got canceled last minute, so I slipped in quietly through the back door, trying not to disturb anyone. That's when I heard him on the phone in the bedroom. His voice was strained in that particular way it always got when he was talking to his mother. I want to marry her, Mom. I really do. But the ring Dad gave you cost $40,000. Grandfather's was $60,000. I just don't have enough to buy the ring she's worth. A cold dread seized me, twisting my gut. It wasn't about the money, not really. It was about being measured, reduced to a price tag, my value apparently represented by a certain number of carats. And then his mother's voice, crackling through the phone, sharp and condescending. Well, if you can't afford a proper ring, perhaps you should reconsider. A woman expects certain standards. I backed out of the house as quietly as I'd come in, my heart pounding a furious rhythm against my ribs. I got in my car and just drove, aimlessly, for what felt like an eternity. That initial rush of hurt and disbelief slowly gave way to a simmering anger, which then, strangely, began to crystallize into something like clarity. By the time I returned home an hour later, my decision was made. I acted normal. We ordered takeout, watched a movie, but inside, a quiet revolution was taking place. The next morning, I called my boss and took a personal day. Then, with a focus I hadn't known I possessed, I scheduled a meeting with Tristan's father, Bernard, at his office downtown. Bernard, a man of impeccably tailored suits and even more impeccably controlled expressions, was visibly surprised when his assistant ushered me in. Is everything all right with Tristan? He asked, a flicker of concern in his eyes. Everything's fine, I said, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands that I kept hidden under the table. I'm here about the trust fund. His eyebrows shot up, a rare crack in his composure. I'm sorry. My grandmother's trust fund, I clarified, a small, defiant note entering my voice. The one I've never touched. I need to access it now. You see, what Tristan didn't know, what his entire family didn't know, is that my grandmother wasn't just anybody. She was Evelyn Chin, a tech pioneer who sold her company in 1987 for a staggering $340 million. She lived modestly, invested wisely, and when she passed, she left absolutely everything to her only grandchild, me. Her lawyers had strict instructions. I couldn't access the money until I was 28, or until I got married, whichever came first. And I was never, under any circumstances, to tell anyone about it unless it was absolutely necessary. Grandma wanted me to know my own worth before I knew my net worth. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.